Hey folks, Script Team on air, and welcome to our research facility. Today I'm gonna try to reinvent the wheel. Not this wheel. More something like that. You see, there in Space Engineers is a problem with those wheels and suspensions, and the problem is that each wheel actually generates propulsion for us, which means that to have more propulsion power, we need more wheels. But they need to be in contact with ground to actually do something. And the next problem is that we never want this part of the block contacting with ground because it's gonna be destroyed. So the wheel itself is kinda indestructible and it's fine that it's contact with the ground, but that part is not. Of course, we have like strengths settings in our wheels, which gives us an ability to kinda force it to do something. As you see, it's actually working in Space Engineers because this wheel now all the way down, while this wheel a little bit higher. So this suspension is working, but the problem is that it has too few travel here. And this we're gonna run in a main problem with suspension. Now it's configured really soft, so let me quickly clone this guy and show you what it gives us. Wait. Oh yeah, when you edit in something, you should be double sure that it's not on the ground because it's gonna be static grid. Alrighty. Let's grab the seat and I show you what I mean. So, when we're driving forward, as you see, this suspension kinda works. And some of our wheels still off the ground, but that's kinda alright. At least 4 of them are on the ground, but as you see, it has some significant problems already. Why? Because 2 of our 6 wheels actually flying. And of course we can go to the settings and try to kinda increase friction, for example, almost to the maximum. That's gonna help a little bit, but not a lot. Okay, maybe we're just running in a bad spot. Let's try this one. And what about now? Oh, seeing that stuff, we hit the ground. Why that happens? Because our wheels was too low, way too low. And that stuff actually in contact with the ground already, and it's gonna get damaged really soon. But the worst thing when these blocks gonna get damaged, oh, they're getting damaged already, because we're gonna lose our wheel completely. Alright, let me show you. We need just a little bit more speed. No. Unfortunately, it can't even move further. Alrighty, let me try one trick. And increase power to the maximum. Maybe that's gonna help us. Just a little bit. Come on. Yeah, the problem is that we totally standing on blocks, not on wheels. In the front and in the back also. Actually, let me demonstrate you what I mean. This block in contact. This block's in contact also when we're trying to move further. Alright, you're probably saying that we need to increase strength of our kinda springs a little bit. Let's do that. and increase it, for example, to standard 6, yeah? Okay. We see that it's kinda moving, but we're hitting the ground a lot. At least we are moving. At least we're moving. Okay, a lot of our wheels are not in contact, but at least some of them are. And with that settings, we actually can drive more or less. I can't say that it's a comfortable drive, but you know, at least we're driving. It feels like our suspension is not working at all because it has too few travel. You see? Much more of our wheels are not in contact and not generating propulsion. That's why we have that problem. But at least we're moving. Okay. We hit something. I don't know. As you see, I'm still trying to move forward, but it's not doing anything because most of our wheels just flying. Yeah, that's the main problem, because we want some sort of compromise between having a soft wheels and having at least some propulsion. Oh, no, we're still alright. You're probably asking why actually I ran into this problem, you know? Because typically you're just creating some rover and has no issues. And yeah, by the way, as you probably already mentioned, I'm using big, large grid routers here. Large grid rovers here, yeah. On a small grid, it's a little bit better, but still. How can we solve that? With custom suspension. And this is a great time to send kudos to QuantumChief, because he was the first guy on YouTube who let me know that it's actually possible to build custom suspensions in Space Engineers. Well, in terms of blocks that we can use for building suspensions. Of course, we have suspension itself that actually behaves pretty sturdy and pretty predictable because we have a lot of settings here. We have that rotor that can be used as some kind of shaft or axis, so yeah. We have that hinge, and that's absolutely understandable how it works, because it's allow us to tilt left and right to 90-degree maximum. And we have pistons. I'd like that pistons actually do something and work, but they not. Let me quickly demonstrate you. I'm gonna say that we wanna speed 2 here. Oh, I don't have a battery on that grid. Let me quickly fix that. Alrighty. As you see, it's opening nicely. But what if we're gonna place few more blocks and place one more hinge, one more piston, of course, I mean here, and I'm gonna limit its movement not to the 10 meters, but for example to 5 meters. And with velocity 2, it should quickly open. Yep. So now let me show you what I'm gonna do. No, it's better to do not in that mode, but directly. So what I'm about to do is to decrease impulses, because it's the force how the stuff working, and actually tune that stuff off. And now I ask those guys to reverse. What I expect to happen, and this stuff gonna go inside, but it's not. it's not going inside. It's not working as a guide, you know? We can't use it for this, unfortunately. But how we can use it, let me demonstrate you. So, as you see, his back suspension is on a piston, actually. And this piston is helping. Let me demonstrate you how is it helpful, actually. This guy has really heavy back, as you see, and if I drop it from really nice distance, oopsie daisy, too much. That was way too much that he can actually do. Yeah, you see, these pistons, not that way. These pistons actually help him to not be destroyed. Well, now when we have all these blocks and we know about them, we can start building suspensions. I personally started from a quantum chief idea with the bridge for the roll and this kind of block for the tilt. Why is that important? Because if you have uneven surface alongside your vehicle, you wanna suspension to roll. If you jump in or hitting some wall, you wanna your suspension to pitch. Alrighty, less words, let me show you. This guy is totally built on bridging option, and as you see, it has a bridge in front and it has kinda bridges in back. The only thing that they're in a cross pattern. The front bridge is across our vehicle and the back bridges are alongside. That actually works pretty nice, so let me show you. As you see, it rolls, but also it has not too bad option to work like that. And wait a second, it feels like it's misconfigured. So what I'm gonna do is to increase its strength a little bit more. That helps us. Wait a second. That's not all. I see that our front wheels, at least our front wheels, let me double check. In general, you want your suspension being in this position on the lowest possible spot, and for these guys, I see that it's not like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move them all the way down, reducing chances to hit the ground with that. Alrighty. So what about now? Yep, now it's moving, and as you see, our front wheels are always with a contact with ground. In contact with ground, yeah. But it has kinda that strange movement when you're moving back and your wheels kinda hooked of something. Sorry, I was needed to fix the lighting because we can't see anything. Alrighty, now we see how it drives, and as you see, we almost reaching that spot. There is a lot of holes in the ground because of previous tests. Alrighty, now you see how this bridge works. It actually tilts back and forth when it's needed, and it works just perfectly. Just as you expect of that stuff to work when I not hit something like this huge wall. My goodness. But it's still drivable. We can go back and take some detour to actually move in a correct way. And yeah, I especially selected this Earth-like planet because it has really tough terrain for vehicles like this. So I want to demonstrate you fair testing results. Not some synthetic in dunes on a Mars or stuff like that. Okay, let's do a little time-lapse of that guy driving from different directions. I wanna show you how it looks. Yeah, driving slightly bent surface is really easy and effortlessly on this guy, so probably it's not too interesting to show further. Let's move to the next option. The next option is basically independent wheel that placed on its own axis and has its own movement to be in contact with ground, and as you see, this vehicle built on that type of wheels. So let's drive it and see how it behaves. As you see, front wheels trying to be in contact with ground all the time, and it actually works not too bad, but it has kinda limited movement to the down, you know? Back bridge is totally the same, so there is nothing to show, but for front one you see that it's actually trying to work pretty hard. But it works not that great as bridged. It's kinda just don't have enough movement. And here we have a bad result, because a lot of our wheels are in flight. But what it solves actually is that we don't have that part in the middle that's easy to hit some ground collisions. Oh yeah, I see. It was misconfigured just a little bit, because it should try to force these wheels to go down. And now it does the job, it seems like. Or not, wait a second. Yeah, this holes in the ground is the most problem for all of that suspensions, but at least it works better than the standard suspension, you know? And yeah, now we see the common problem of all that suspensions. If we hit the block of the ground, we're gonna lose the wheel. Exactly like it happened here. Alrighty. What about some more options? And here, this guy built on a completely independent suspension. We have wheels that are on independent arms in front. We have wheels on independent arms on the back. So let's drive this guy and see. And what I love about this guy is that we don't have that huge strange head. And why we have it here? Because, oopsie daisy, wrong vehicle. Because here we have all that suspension mechanism, you know, that we need to hide. That's why I built that huge head, and it looks really strange, but in this case it looks okay. It looks nice and small. And yeah, all the important stuff are here inside, so we don't need to have that head, to be honest. Alrighty, let's see how it drives. Yeah, these front wheels looks kinda strange, but you know what? I love how it looks from the cabin. Let me pass that really hard place and then I show you. Yeah, I believe now is a perfect moment to do that. So just look at that. You see how all the suspension works just from what happened here? Oh, I see. That happens when the vehicle grabs a tree, it can stuck. If there is not enough force to break it, it's just stuck on it. That kinda happens. So, back to the cabin, you know? My goodness, just look on that view. All the suspension, you see how it works. You see each movement, and these wheels on the front are just magnificent. I love that cabin view. I ready to drive it all the day long, you know? And actually, it works, it performs not bad at all. But as you see, it has some difficulties in some moments. For example, like with that strange wall that we have here. But it's kinda happened in Space Engineers. Voxels might be generated in that strange form, so we should be prepared to that. Come on, you can do that. Move your wheel. Yeah, one of that wheels are stuck in that strange place, so we're gonna go back a little bit, and now... Wait, oh, all the weight on the front wheels. That's why we have one wheel flying. And yeah, there is cheaty stuff, to be honest. I wanna show you. Let me stop real quick. No, that's the wrong position to stop, because it's gonna roll back. Okay, what about here? Yeah, should be alright. Speaking about cheaty stuff, is on one arm we have only one wheel, but on the second arm we have two wheels. That's why they behave as a one wheel. Oh, and I see we run into a problem here. You see, this stuff supposed to be between these wheels, not like that. Yeah, that happens. That happens to this design because you see the lever here is too long to these guys be in a place. Alrighty, that's doesn't matter at all, to be honest, because I'm gonna show you something else. This big head guy was just something like a test, you know, because my goal actually is to make a scenario with a lot of heavy machinery that actually drives. Because I hate when you finding something in a Space Engineer scenarios, you see it looks like something working, but it's actually not. That's why, and saying about that, I mean something like this transporter. This transporter is for really heavy stuff, to transport other heavy machines, and it's based on kinda independent suspension with two wheels on each axle. So let me show you how it actually drives. In this case we have all-wheel drives, and as you see, it does stuff like that. A lot of wheels flying, and that's not great. And what's not great also is actually if we're trying to stop, it makes that strange movement. That's why I optimized that stuff, and now we have this guy. Version 2, you see? It has much simpler suspension. Much simpler, and one of that guys already broken. Okay, let me fix that real quick. Alrighty, now this wheel is fine, so to changes. First things first, I get rid of suspension here. That standard suspension, because it's don't need it. We have this movement already, and it's kinda unnecessary and completely redundant. So it makes only this strange movement back and forth when we're trying to accelerate or brake. Alrighty, let me show you how this guy drives. Probably I should... Actually, you know, because of that suspension, it has no difference to drive back or forth, so I can just drive back here and show you how it works. Oopsie daisy. It feels like I forget to make some settings. Okay, let me do that real quick. Okay, Caterpillar version 2, second try. Oopsie daisy, we have rests of previous guys there. Alrighty. It drives, and as you see, it maintains this changes in a surface pretty well. But we still have not enough movement of the wheels, and unfortunately we can't afford more because it's gonna lose its connection to the top small suspension, you know. But as you see, we have a lot of wheels connected to the surface at the moment, and it drives just not bad. Alrighty, that slope seems like too much for that little guy. So let me show you him on this slope. And yeah, by the way, if you wanna see more crazy machines on crazy suspension and in general progress about that scenario, let me know in the comments, because it's kinda experiment for me and it's not the types of videos that I typically record in. So if you're interested, let me know. Well, what we see based on these machines is that, yeah, it's actually great to have more wheels in general in Space Engineers, but to maintain them properly is a little bit pain in the ass. Oh crap. And yeah, one of our wheels is broken already. As you see, this wheel is out of the stuff already. Oh, it's because I forget to fix it. Oh my goodness, that's my bad. That's my bad, folks. Let me do that real quick, because actually it's not do anything else. It's not do any difference, so alrighty, let's leave it as this. Basically, in real life, that kind of machines should drive only on a flat surface. It's not to drive on an uneven terrain, so it does the job. Well, what else I wanna say is that actually small vehicles and big and large vehicles behave absolutely different. So let me demonstrate you this guy. It's actually, I wanna make a copy of it and move it closer to not waste your time. It's a rover. That's yeah. That's actually was great landing, you know. It's totally fine. Yeah, this rover based on absolutely independent suspension, so each wheel is independent, and you know what? it drives just beautifully through any terrain without any problems at all. As you see, it has just needed amount of movement in all the directions and pretty confident vehicle. It feels pretty confident on each terrain with each stuff. No problem at all. The only problem with that type of machines, it's they are pretty easy to flip. Like that. Yeah, that's why I copied it. My goodness. Alrighty. Let's place a new guy for us. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy. Where are you going? So, yeah. How that might be solved is having as low as possible center of mass. As you see, in this case, we have that batteries. I'm sorry, I should be more careful. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. Unfortunately, in Space Engineers, I don't know a combination to delete some grid. I can only cut it. And in this case, it goes to the buffer, so you need to do that each time. I mean, go and copy the correct one. Alrighty. Now, it should have you. Come on. Yep. So, as I said, it drives pretty beautifully, but you should be really careful on turns. The thing is, yeah, it's totally possible to reduce the speed, and it like reduces the chance of tipping, but it's not kinda interesting because you will be kinda limited on speed, also on straight movement, and that's not great. That's not great at all. Yeah, as you see, this guy drives actually as expected, just beautifully. All the wheels on the ground all the time. As you see, it's because suspension is really working. It's like not just my words, it's really working. And even jumps like this is not a big deal for him. The main thing is to not tip, you know? Yeah. Okay, why shouldn't we record a little nice speed run of driving this crazy guy? As soon as I finish to crash it, of course. As soon as I finish do that. Oh. Alrighty folks, I believe it's enough crashing for today, so I see you next time because there gonna be much more to go. And whoa, what's that? Wait a second. Oh, that's just a nice reminder for you. Do not forget, like and subscribe. See you folks!